Hey ratepayers, it's Eric Lippman from Utility Reform Now with the answer to an important ratepayer question. This particular one comes from Bill, who lives in Canon Falls, and he asks, how does the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission actually know if a particular utility's proposed rates are just and reasonable? Well, Bill, that's a great question. And the dirty little secret is, in fact, the MPUC does not know, as an a priori matter, in advance of the filing of a particular application, what rates should be just and reasonable. It has no clue. It has no idea. And neither does the Minnesota Attorney General, neither does the Minnesota Department of Commerce, or they would announce their views in advance of a rate-making application. We expect rates to only grow by X amount, but they don't do that. They don't do that at all. They don't have any idea where rates should be going, notwithstanding the fact that there are lots and lots of information about where rates are traveling within the natural gas and electric utilities industry and the experience in neighboring states, and gabs of data from the Electricity and Energy Information Administration out of Washington, all sorts of performance data about what utilities are receiving and what they're charging. So this is not a mystery. It's just something that the MPUC doesn't take a bother in trying to announce as an initial matter. Instead, what it does is it receives a rate-making application, a request to increase rates, and it goes out requesting all sorts of financial and operational information, doing the discovery process. And after the Minnesota Attorney General and the Department of Commerce and any other intervener are done torturing the utility, asking for all of this financial information, then they decide whether they found a particular set of expense categories that they don't like or that they find objectionable, and they try to pressure and hector the utility to lower its request on rates. What they're doing is the equivalent of tossing a prison cell. The MPUC and the other regulators assume that the utility is stealing from people. I don't think that that's a fair assumption. And they assume that they're going to find something that they don't like, and they just need to turn over enough rocks within the utility's operations in order to find that information. It occurred to me that that process reflects a lot like a particular scene in The Shawshank Redemption, that cult classic that's near the top of the IMDb's top 100 list. In that famous and important movie, we have the scene where the warden arrives on the cell block, and he and Captain Hadley do an inspection of prison cells, assuming that they're criminals and assuming that they're going to find contraband. And here's what happens.
119, 123.
On your feet. Face the wall. Pretty clean. Some contraband here, but nothing to get in a twist over.
And just like our warden, the MPUC is like the prison official who doesn't know in particular what they're looking for, but they know that they're going to find something bad. And so they toss the cells, and they make a mess of the utilities operation, just like they tossed Andy Dufresne's cell in a most unceremonious way. The questions, and important questions for me, are why isn't the MPUC announcing as an a priori matter what it thinks rates should be like in the future? If it's so expert that it can decide whether rates are just and reasonable on the back end, why aren't they announcing it on the front end? An answer that I'm hoping in the coming weeks both you'll get and that I'll get as ratepayers within the system that does these kinds of shameful things. The other important question is, I don't want my state government, I don't want my state officials operating as if they're Captain Hadley, tossing a prison cell, assuming that the people who are the regulated parties act like criminals and are actively stealing and hiding contraband from ordinary ratepayers. I think it makes for a dysfunctional, overly adversarial environment when I think as an a priori matter there's no need to be. I don't want to hire Captain Hadley. I'm ashamed for what Captain Hadley did in Shawshank Prison. I don't want his likes running utility rates or doing any regulatory program in the great state of Minnesota. If you don't like Captain Hadley, if you don't want companies treated by the government as if they're involved in the tossing of a prison cell, I'm hoping that you'll like, follow, and subscribe. UtilityReformNow.com. Utility Reform Now.